Welcome to another episode of Real BMX Racing, the podcast. Today's show is sponsored by 110% Nutrition, Answer BMX and BMX Connect, with a special shout out to Toby Henderson over at Send It BMX. Today's episode is part 2 of USA BMX women's expert Ms. Kittie Knauer's episode. Kittie, let's let the good times roll.
Let's not do that.
I'm sorry, I forgot who I was talking to. I'm sorry.
So and so but they say, but Miss Kittie, we're not running, and the women will tell you, because keep in mind, I'm running with younger women, and they will tell you, we're not gonna run without her. I mean, I have actually seen and heard that we're not gonna run without her. And I said, look, I will make it a point. I'm gonna be here. Okay.
That's awesome.
There are times I do get involved in conversations. I'm involved in conversations because I'm talking to people, and I can't tell you how many people stop and talk, especially guys.
Listen, I know. I'm sorry to stop you, but I know. So let me a quick story, right? 2022. All right, so let's take it back. In the 80s, I used to race.
Yeah.
I stopped in about 85, 86, got a car, whatever. I came back just a few years ago.
Okay.
I've heard of you from day one, right?
Oh.
From coming back to racing. I'm like, yeah, Miss Kittie this, Miss Kittie that. All right. So I end up at Grand's 2022. We pull up to the building straight from the airport because no time to do anything else. We had to go right to the building.
Right.
I walk in the building, Grand's. I'm excited, man. First time at Grand's. I'm like, something I always wanted to do.
I got you. I'm with you.
The first person I see when I walk in the building is you.
Oh.
And I was like, yo, that's Miss Kittie. Oh my God, bro. Like that. And I walked by you and I said hi to you, and you said hi right back.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm like, I want to go talk to her. I want to go introduce myself. I got to meet her. So there was a couple of times I was kind of stalking you a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
He was definitely starstruck. I remember.
But I was like, I want to introduce myself. But every time I saw you, you had a crowd of people around you.
Oh, we're talking. I mean,
And yeah. So I mean, every time I'm like, I can't break this up, it was like a whole family coming to meet Miss Kittie, and it's like probably one of their highlights of Grands also, and I didn't want to interrupt that.
I understand that, but I tell you, that's important. That is a critical part. This is why I keep doing this. I met, and I will never forget this young man at Blue Springs during this would have been their state race. State race weekend, okay? This young man's name is Carter. I wish I could remember Carter's last name. Carter is 6. He had been in their league, one of the last leagues that they had for the season there, okay? And his mother wanted me to meet him. And so I said, well, yeah, wait. For someone who is 6 years old, he's just a little old bitty thing, okay? And so we started talking. I said, wait a minute, baby, I got to sit down and talk to you, because he only came up with my belly button. And especially when I talk to kids, I want to be at eye level. We had one of the best conversations. His mother was there. We tuned out all them folks. They were there. But he and I had one. And this is what I really appreciate, because I'm still learning. I'm going to tell you right now, this is another reason I continue to race, is because I am continuing to learn, and I'm learning from these young kids. Okay. And I told him, I said, well, Carter, I'm going to watch you. Is that okay? He said, yes, ma'am, you can watch me. Honey, that boy tore up the track on that day, which was Sunday of the, and I had grin from ear to ear, because his mother said that was the first time, he'd been doing it and he's been enjoying it. But she said there was something different about this race. And after each moto, I made it a point to find, because I had to look amongst, he the littlest. And I said, oh, baby, man, you look good out there. He was so proud. And I said, now I'll tell you what, I do come down here to Kansas City quite often. So when I come, I'm going to be looking for you. It's only 3 hours down to Kansas City. And they have 2 tracks there. They race on one track races Thursday, the other one races on a Friday. Hey, I can handle that. And I stay at one of the campgrounds. with my RV. So, but that's the joy. That's the joy of this sport.
I think it's absolutely awesome that the kids interact with the older guys.
Yes.
Because the first time I got to the track, there was a 6-year-old kid that came to me just out of nowhere. I've never met the kid.
That's right. There you go.
I'm like, what is going on here? Why is this kid attracted to me, man? And then he's like, I'm going to show you how to. He was trying to show me how to ride because I was just getting back into the sport. He
That's
saw
right.
I didn't really have a legit bike. I just came in sweatpants and long sleeve shirt. I looked like a beginner, you know.
Right,
so I didn't tell him I used to ride before. I'm like, yeah, little man, show me what to do, you know. And he showed me how to pump, showed me how to get up on the gate. And I mean, and this kid for the whole season, man, every time I come to the track, he'd find me and make sure that we had like a session during practice.
There you go.
And I was like, I'd ask my friends, I'm like, you know what? When we saw older people at the track when we were kids that age, we didn't have nothing to do with them, yo. That was like we would laugh at that. Look at that old guy on the bike, yo. You know, look at somebody's dad. Like that's crazy. But now it's like totally different.
Yes, it is.
I love it, yo.
I even have the daddies bringing the daughter or the son. And I do have, and let me tell you what, I do have conversations with husbands, okay? Because there are women who want to ride. Okay.
You got to convince the husband first, huh?
And I do. And I pull them aside. I said, look, honey, don't stifle her. Don't do that to her. And their first thing is, what if she gets hurt? And I said, heck, you out here? What's the difference? Yeah, but she has to help take care of the kid. I said, let me tell you something right now. And I know I was blessed with the right man for a husband. Okay. And I'll tell you that. Now, even though he's deceased, I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't none of this, mama, I know you're working, but you're going to have to deal with all this with the boy. Because here was my deal. The minute dad walked out the door, one of them kids went with him. I mean, that we only had 2 of them. Somebody's going with you. You ain't, that ain't happening. Okay. All right. When we went places, the kids would go with us. All right. When we got into the cycling part, they were always with us. And at no time did he ever say, I don't want you to race. Never. Even when I came back from my accident, because people kept asking him, you gonna let her race again? And Max says, what do you mean let her? I was out there beating him on the track. What do you mean let her? And so I do pull men aside and we have these quiet conversations, because what I find is this is a family sport. This is truly a family sport. Cycling is a family sport, a family activity. And you always get everyone involved. You know, we have a nonverbal autistic son. He wouldn't ride a bike if you paid him. There were times we had 20-some bicycles here in our garage, 3 of us riding them. But we also had that Cannondale bugger or the Burley or the adult Burley. Okay. So they were always a part of what we did. And I did. And still to this day, I still pull men aside because their wives or significant other want to ride. And one of the things I said, one of the best things you can ever do is to support that, because that support is going to come back to you in terms of what it is you're wanting to do.
Yeah. And
it works. And I do check up on them, because people, my girlfriends laugh at me. Okay, let me hey, okay, all right. Get up in here and check my phone now, because I will. I get the digits, I get the names, and I will either text you or I'll call you. And they know I'm crazy. You know, as I tell folks, you know what, Kitty, why you do this? Because I'm a little crazy, and it helps me to maintain what little sanity I think I have. Yeah. What I find is that I use cycling in my career with my students. Okay. And they would ask me, here's the thing, Monday mornings, Miss Kitty, did you win? Every time I get on my bike, I win. Yep. And for some of the students, I had to go into detail about what that means. Because, honey, I'm 76. Back in the day when I was in my 50s, I'm still out there racing, and the women are all still younger than me, or some of the guys I'm running with. I'm not going to beat them. But that is not the thing. So what if I don't podium? I finish.
Yeah.
And this is what I want my students to do. I want you to finish. Did it matter where you finished? No. Question. Did you finish? Number one. Number two, what did you learn while you were out there on that track? I told you I'm learning. I'm constantly learning. All right. You don't make the same moves on the track when you're racing your moto group. Because especially now the way the ABA does it, 1, 2, or maybe 3 may transfer on out, and then there are only 4 of you left, or 5 of you left, and in the end somebody's gonna get cut off. You're gonna ride a bit different. I size up the group that I'm with, so I don't kill myself in the first moto, because I'm not gonna finish first. I may not finish second, but I tell you what, do I surprise them? I ain't gonna finish last the next time around. Okay. Unless I'm with men who are 20, 30 years younger. Like I said, my sons.
Right.
Okay. But I've still had fun. I've still learned. And then there's that joy. Everyone has to have joy in their life. Okay. And I would say to my students, I don't know anything about being homeless. I don't know anything about having to sleep somewhere else than other my bed. Neither did my kids. Okay. I don't know what that is. All the rag rides we did, we slept in a tent. That's the only time I slept in a tent. Okay. So how do you communicate and help and work with young people for whom they come to you without a spark in their eye? What is it that you do that makes that difference for them?
Yeah.
Okay? I see them as adults, and you are. As a matter of fact, I ran, and let me tell you where I was. I was at Walmart, not even on my side of town. I was way northwest of here today. And this girl says, "Miss Knauer." I said, "Well, yes." "You don't remember me." And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, honey, I don't. My name is Anika." I said, "Okay, Anika, so how do we know one another?" "You were my teacher when we were at Merrill Middle School. That was from 1973 to 1986. Okay." I said, "Well, how come you remember me?" "Because you always make me take that comb out of my head." She had a big afro. And I did not allow kids to walk around with the, and you remember back in the day when when the combs were metal.
Yep.
And here's the reason because here they use them suckers for weapons. Some of them had used, what a cake cutter is. You use a cake cutter for angel food cake. That's what they would use something. She said to me, she said, you took more of my picks than anybody else ever did. Yeah, daggum right, I did. Okay.
I remember my school. I'm not sure why I was in the principal's office, but I was in there.
I know.
And I remember they opened the drawer, and that's all I saw was a bunch of picks. Like a whole big, like the file cabinet drawer. Yeah,
yes,
full of picks, bro.
Exactly. And I'm the teacher. I am a classroom teacher. I'm not supposed to be, but I did. And you know what? You didn't have to be in my class. You walk down the hall with your pick in your head. You won't put it in my, and I just stick my hand out just like this. Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this: How do you feel about guns?
You know what? One of these days we're gonna have to get it together when it comes to dealing with guns, and we haven't figured it out yet. And I don't know. I used to say the wrong person keeps getting shot. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. The right person has to get shot. I don't know who that right person is. And I'll tell you the other thing. I worked with gangbangers. I could tell you about the Crips, the Bloods, the ones who wore the red. Also, wasn't just the Bloods. Gangster Disciples, the Asian Crips. I had them all in my building at one time. Okay. And they were gang bangers. When I say banging, I mean they use guns, and they
Right.
still doing this stupid stuff.
Right.
You know, there was a purpose for guns. People hunt. There's what do they call it? Skeet shooting is one of them. There are people who in the Olympics, what's that called when you ski and you get to a spot and you get down and you
Like
you
shooting
know,
for sport, though. Yeah.
right, for sport. For sport. Okay. But also guns were necessary once upon a time because you really had to, and this wasn't when you and I were growing up. When you back in the day of yore, defending yourself. We have gone from guns being used for their proper use to, and I've had kids who have re-rigged their guns so that they will shoot more than one bullet at a time. And they've told me it's easy to do. You know, you get a kit. You can get the kit in mail, or some of my kids are rather ingenious. I wish they used that ingenuity to deal with the academic stuff. But I don't see a need to walk around. I will not. I'm not going to walk around strapped. And here's the thing. Now I've passed the gun test. I signed my thing from the NRA where I passed their little test. Okay. But damn, you know what a gun costs? I ain't talking about one. You know good and darn well you can get a good frame and fork for the cost of a gun. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna waste that kind of money on a gun, and then you gotta pay for the bullets. A decent bullet is gonna run you at least $1.50 a bullet. I ain't doing it. No. And I am always asked, always. I have been stopped twice this year alone. Been in southern Missouri by the highway patrol. Now, you ain't gonna see, and I've yet to see another black woman driving an RV. I see truck drivers, but not RV. I have as a matter of fact, I traded out my last RV. I now have a 24 Thor toy hauler. Okay. And I went through this town in Missouri. I'm following the traffic. I look up and my lights in the back of me, you can see them. I pull over, roll down my window over on that side because they gotten smart. They don't stand on them. They smart. They ain't gonna stand on the driver's side. You're crazy. Okay. Ma'am, where are you going? Now they see I got proper plates on it, but they want to know why I'm driving. I'm going to, and I tell them where I'm going. All right. License and and insurance. I said, okay, I need to dig the insurance out of the pocket over here. Okay. So I opened, and I said, by the way, I have no firearms. If you want to come in, I will gladly let you in. You can take a look and see. And oh, by the way, when you go back to the car, have whoever's you calling in to look me up. They have come back and go, ma'am, everything is fine. Oh my goodness gracious. I didn't realize it. Because you Google my name, you'll find out everything you want to know. And it's all about BMXing, cycling, working with kids. That's my life.
Yeah.
And do I have to? No, I am not going to spend my time being afraid. Should I be? Maybe. But you know what? You know now, once your car reaches a certain speed, is about 15 miles an hour, the door is automatically locked.
Yeah.
Well, but twice this happened. The second time, this first time, this young man wanted me to know he was Sergeant, whoever his name was. Yeah, okay. Second time, this guy was a rookie. He had night duty. Okay. And the Pope, they shouldn't put them little babies out there by themselves. They don't know what they be doing. But and when he came back, he said, I had to call this into my captain because I looked you up like you told me to, and I just could not believe who you were. And he just went on and on. I'm going, saying to myself, baby, all I want to do is go down the road, 100 miles from the campground. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, guns are necessary evil. And I say it that way. I work with the police department. I do, and I have been for years, a camp here in Des Moines that includes the Police Athletic Association and the City Council. Okay. And every year, the chief comes and rides with us. Now he doesn't necessarily participate in the other activities that the Police Athletic Association does, but he be showing up because I say, baby, gotta come. Okay. We need to see you in a different light. And that's important.
Yeah.
We've had more shoot 'em ups here in Des Moines in just the last 2 weeks. I haven't been in town, haven't been on my side of town or in my part of town. You know, good old Ingersoll Avenue. She's Louise. And this I heard about happened Friday night. Or we were out at the track here in Des Moines because we had our state race. And they downtown shooting up. And they showed the video of this kid. 9 rounds he shot off. Don't know who he was shooting at. Didn't hit anybody. Excuse me. Didn't hit anybody, but just property damage. Other times, we had a couple people that were killed and another one who was hospitalized.
Eric, do you even think of Des Moines, Iowa like that?
No, you don't.
Like,
You
I just
don't.
never associated that with any types of like violent crimes. But that's why I asked you about guns. Like, how did you overall feel about guns? Because you are an educator, and they're talking about strapping teachers with guns. Like,
and it ain't gonna never happen. I would refuse to do that. As a matter of fact, they took the SROs out of the schools. Now I'm gonna tell you, we needed SROs because we still have these big time gangs, and people can say what they want. Okay, and we have these knuckleheads, and I call them knuckleheads because they live in the same neighborhood. They create havoc in their neighborhoods, and then they bring the havoc into the school. And I know that. You see, my students in the alternative school were the gangbangers. They were the kids who some had been in prison. Now, by the way, I was on the Iowa parole board for 2 years.
really?
So I've been to all of our finer institutions for parole hearings from 92 to 94. Yeah.
Wow.
And when I became a principal, I didn't have time to keep doing that. And lo and behold, kids were released because they had served their time, and you could still go to school until you're 21. Students were released. They had to come back to school because that was one of the conditions of the parole. And they go, Mrs. Knauer, oh, yeah, you got me, baby. You got me. Okay, I'm yours. And we're going to see each other every day. The fear was kids are bringing weapons into your school. And here was my deal. If I ever caught anything on you, sure what it was, you were going to rue the day that you came into that building and that crazy, she ain't going to put up with your foolishness. Okay. I would take care of it right then and there. And that's not to say something wasn't ever brought into the building. But I tell you what, kids talk.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me give you an example.
It's like Joe Clark over here.
Wait, there you go. I'm just like the mother. Yeah, I heard that one before too. This is junior high, back in 1975, I think it was. Kids come running, tearing out of the cafeteria. My classroom was the first one on the left because there was the library, then my classroom. And you might want to ask why I was next to the library, because I believe every kid should have a book in their hands, okay? And so you didn't come into my classroom without a book that you were reading. And don't think you're going to be slick and come with a different book every day, because I know you didn't read the book yet. So don't do that. But this kid tearing into my room, and I go, what is going on? I didn't have cafeteria duty that day. Miss Knauer, so-and-so's got a gun. Huh? What are you talking about? Miss Knauer, they're in the cafeteria. Mind you, there are teachers in there, in the cafeteria, because that's where the kids went before they were dismissed to morning classes.
Right.
Okay. You all went past them teachers to come to my room. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I walked back around And I said, tell me who the person is. And they told me who it was. And I just nonchalantly walked, I greeted the staff that were at the door saying to myself, y'all some dumb, never mind. I walked over to where the student was, and I got about 2 inches from him. And I just simply put my hand out. I said, I think you have something I would like. And he said, listen now, what are you talking about? I said, I ain't going to ask you a second time. Thank you. He lifted up his shirt, and he pulls this gun out of his pants, and he lays it in my hand. When he was doing that, tables were turned over, chairs went flying, because everybody saw what was going on.
Right.
And nobody, I didn't know if it had bullets in it or not. I just simply knew that I got teachers who were standing there who didn't, who the kids did not feel they could go to.
Right.
They were there. There were 2 staff at the one door and 2 staff at the other door. Okay. But these kids busted past them, come to me to come. I got the gun. And I said, baby, you need to come with me. And so I took the gun and we walked out of the cafeteria and went into the office. Now, how did this gun get into the junior high school? I'll tell you how. A kid had it at home. The parent, not the kid who bought it. He bought it for $20. The parent said to the kid who had it, you got to get this gun out of my house. You tell me, now this is back in 1975. You tell me why that parent didn't take that gun and call the police. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing still happening today.
I was gonna say, man. Now we here 50 years later.
Mm-hmm.
But they're holding. It seems like they're holding parents and guardians a little more accountable. Like there's been a couple of cases where actually the parents are getting charged,
right,
because of that, as they should be.
That's correct. That is correct. Because now here's the other side of the coin. The only kind of guns my boys had were water guns. And I'm serious. No, because as kids growing up, we had, I had my little Annie Oakley uniform back in the day. You know who Annie Oakley is, don't you? Yeah. Okay. So we had toy guns, but I'm telling you, we did not. The boys. I'm telling you, only guns they had were the water guns, and you can get some of them guns. They put batteries in them now, and them things will squirt for yards. The water guns, but we didn't have any of those where we were going to be playing shoot 'em up. And it's kind of interesting. My son has done the same thing with his sons. They have water guns, but they don't, no toy guns, none of that.
What does your oldest son do for a living? Is he a teacher?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why he's not. I'm gonna tell you something. Because I told him he wanted to be broken poor like his mom and dad. Education is admirable. And I'm going to tell you what, we did things with and for our kids that people couldn't believe we did. But honey, I learned how to save. I learned how to invest. And I learned that from my parents. Okay. He is a lineman. Max went, and we did not let him go to college with any of his friends because they were walking the front door of Roosevelt High School. And by 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'd be getting a phone call. Mind you, I'm a building principal. I'd be getting a phone call. Kitty, Max is not in his second or third period class. What do you mean? He's okay. Ask him why he didn't have a car his junior year. Okay. Because I was through playing games, drive to school and then go off and play. Now, Max is brilliant. He really is. Artistic. Okay. He learned to play 6 different instruments. How do I know?
Wow.
We provided them. Okay. As a matter of fact, I still have that fretless bass that we purchased for him. And I remember how much we paid for that at the time that young man was in 5th grade. We paid $750 for that fretless bass.
Wow.
That is mine. I still have one of his 3 keyboards. Dad had a keyboard, and my piano did go with Max. He has that. He played violin. I tell you what, we purchased a German violin. He was first chair in middle school, moving to first chair in high school.
Wow.
All right. Drums, both he and JP took drum lessons from one of Des Moines' best drummers. All right. He played string bass also, as well as electric bass guitar. Well, that fretless bass is mine. That's why I said that. But in second grade, he had artwork that was being displayed at the Des Moines Arts Center.
Wow.
Yeah. Very, that side of him, that creative side.
Where did that come from?
Well, I piano lessons from the age of 9 through high school graduation, and I was trained as a concert pianist.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I wasn't going in that direction, but I did. I learned how to play all the woodwind instruments. Each of us, and I'm talking about all of us, kids, had to play an instrument also. I learned how to play all the woodwinds. As a matter of fact, I played oboe in the concert band. People want to know why you play oboe, because nobody else volunteered. But number 2, you get the solo on the oboe. All right? You got to think about these things now. If you want to be recognized, and back in our day, you're recognized by doing all the positive stuff. You do all that goofy stuff, you're gonna get recognized. Your rear end top probably get tore up also. So no, you do the positive things. In marching band, I played the baritone sax. That instrument was as big as I was, but I did it because nobody else wanted to play the baritone sax, and nobody else was playing them notes but me. In jazz band, I play alto sax. So I did that also myself, and I think music is truly important. One of the things I know is that music can really bring out, for example, and I say that because I did not have a music teacher at my alternative high school until I insisted that I was going to have one. Why? Because I found that my students were extremely artistic. I had an art teacher, but nothing in terms of the music. And I'll tell you right now, we cut our own record. We don't even call them records anymore, but see, yeah, I got kids who people had given up on, man, creating music. I even got to, they're the photos of me playing. And I even, when I retired, you know how you're supposed to stand up and give a speech? I didn't do that. I wrote music. I wrote a piece of music. I wrote the lyrics. And I even sang it. Now, I don't have a voice for singing, but I sang it. And I'm going to tell you what, I had lead guitar, bass guitar, and I played bass. I had keyboard, and I had drums. All right. And people just whooped through the whole thing because it was a piece of poetry I had written that I set to music. And I took early retirement because I got tired of the stupidity with the adults. Okay, not with the kids. I expect kids to do stupid. I don't expect adults who are getting paid big bucks to do stupid. From the superintendent on down. So I said, bye. See you later. And they whooped because they said, oh, Kittie, you know what? They said, I wish I could do this. but did not use one word of profanity. And they understood.
And I'm sure your son, your daughter also but I know my son, he went through many years of school without having music or art as a requirement.
You're kidding.
I think my daughter was in some sort of music class.
But did she elect to do that, or was she required?
Oh yeah,
to do
we
it?
like to do that.
Yeah, no.
Regardless if we played an instrument or not, we still had music class, right? That we had to go to. We still had art class.
Yeah.
It was like 5 days a week. I mean, music, art, gym, and the same thing with gym. He wasn't required to go to gym.
Really?
Like it might have been 1 day a week or something like that.
Wow. My daughter ended up joining the tennis team.
Ooh, neat. Okay.
Well, then, and also, so if you played a sport, you didn't have to go to gym at all.
Now, see, that's what got burnt my britches. Let me tell you something. So here little Max is just tearing up the track, even here in Des Moines, Iowa. And of course, the schools knew it, but he had to go to gym. He still had to go to gym. Yet football players, basketball players didn't have to go to gym. They could go to the weight room and work out.
Yeah.
Okay. So Max gets deemed, and I told him point blank, I said, let me tell you something. What my son does, nobody else in this building, he was the only national BMX racer, or BMX racer, period, in his high school. He could ride circles around him. He ended up starting in 8th grade working for a bike shop. Praises be for the bike shop, honey, because they provided him with the best of bicycles. Some he still has to this day.
Awesome.
But he did road racing. He did, what is that, crit, whatever crit is, mountain bike racing. And the only thing was they wanted the trophies. Max said, that's fine, Mama. We ain't got no place in this house for more trophies.
Yeah.
And they also, supported the BMXing. And so, he was the cyclist in the city. He actually raced throughout college before it was a collegiate sport. So Dad and I are flying him out of he University of Nebraska in Kearney. Typically, he would have to drive to either Lincoln or to Omaha to catch a flight to get to the Nationals. But here was the deal. Had to maintain those grades in college.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, he graduated from high school with well, let's put it like this. He graduated from high school. It was not with the kind of grade that you or I would be looking for. But he did. He is a lineman. He did his stint in college, did exceptionally well because he was racing. Okay. He worked for 3 years with this company. And the problem was it was a desk job. And I'll never forget when he came to his dad and me. He said, Mom, I just can't keep sitting behind that desk. I got to do something different. And so one of the things Dad did was, because we're very much involved in the political machine here, introduced him to all of the union heads. He took their tests, scored high in math, scored exceptionally high. And so he looked at jobs where this was, what he was looking for was the job that paid the most money. Put it like that. He's a lineman, and linemen are paid. And so I didn't have to worry about it after that. He did, in 3.5 years, he did what would have taken 5 years in their program. Because, you take the tests and you pass them and you do what you need to do, take the test back. And he had a lot of that when he was in college.
Okay.
I don't fuss. He's doing exceptionally well. He and his wife, and they have 3 kids, hoping Dexter, who's going on 4, will. The other 2, no, honey, Max outfitted the other 2, and they rode for a year. No, that's not their cup of tea. And I said, well, I understand that.
Yeah, one more.
One more. You got one more chance. Yeah. The other one's Zari is in high school, 15. She is a sophomore now, and Max the 5th, who goes by CL, is in 5th grade. Yeah, I think it's 5th grade. Yeah. So, and then there's Dexter, who's, he's just starting his life now. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like we've been talking for a while, but I feel like we could talk for so much longer.
Right? I'm like,
should we just like cut this, make this a part 1, and bring you back in a few months?
Why don't we do that? Because I'm looking at it. Oh man, it's going on 8:30 here in my neck of the woods. Makes it 9:30 in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
And I still got to go load up my RV. I'm gonna be.
There's still questions I want to ask you. Like, I'm not finished.
Hey, write them down now, because I'm gonna tell you, get to be like me. I remember them for about that long.
Yeah, me too.
and so I write them down.
You are so much sharper than people that I know that are my age. So listen, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, honey, no,
that's true, because I know him at his age, and he's not that sharp.
Oh, come on, the young folk. Come on,
Yeah.
come on. Oh, I tell you, as I continue to age, I continue to really enjoy life. Yeah, there those hiccups, but hey, everybody has those. Um, but as I tell people, as long as I can keep the two wheels where they belong, I'm gonna be on that bike. Now, here's what I have done. So I've had several e-bikes also, and so for my 76th birthday, I traded those in, and I have an e-tricycle, the cambered wheels.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it gets up and goes. I'm not gonna be able to race forever, but I still and I still hit the trails here in Des Moines. But I don't trust myself even on an e-bike. E-bikes are heavy. At least the e-trike, I can keep it on the ground and not have to worry about that. Okay, tipping over and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I used this past summer with my bike camp. Kids had not seen an e-trike before. And there are all kinds of e-trikes out there, but I wanted one where I know I could get that puppy up to 18, 20 miles. Because here, kids are good at this. Miss now, you know what? I could beat you. And I say, go ahead, get started. To the next half-mile mark. Let's see who gets there first. Okay. All right. And I love doing that because they are still learning how to ride. And I've had years. I've got experience when it comes,
definitely.
To doing that. Now I'm not talking about the racing. I can ride me some bike though.
So one last quick story for me. I was at the track, and there was this guy. I knew he was older. Like I said, I'm 52. I knew this guy was had me probably by 5, 6, 7 years at least, right?
Listen to him.
And so then I get on the gate, and this guy gets on the gate next to me. I'm not looking at his bike or anything.
Okay.
We come out the gate, neck and neck. And I'm thinking at this time, I've been riding a little bit. I'm kind of fast. I'm thinking, this guy's right next to me. I never saw this guy a day in my life. He has a mountain bike helmet on. He has this big old mountain bike. I'm like, whoa, bro. So the next time I come out the gate with him, I was like, I got to get this guy. This is just practice, but you know how it goes sometimes, I don't want you to beat me in practice, man.
Right.
So we come out the gate. He's there again. And I'm like, whoa. Then we get up to the gate, to do another lap. And this guy's not out of breath. I'm about to die, man, by now, This is 2 laps we just did back to back. And this guy's on me, and I'm trying to beat him, it's a real race.
Right.
So then the track, the TO was starts laughing at me. She was like, Shannon, he has an e-bike. And I'm like,
yeah,
really, yo? Because I didn't notice. I'm not looking at his legs to see if he's pedaling or this dude had an e-mountain bike, man. Just I'm over there about to die trying to beat this guy, because
and
we're cruising.
No, that's exactly what he was doing. Exactly.
Funny, though.
Yeah. I bet there was. Well, gentlemen, I'd love to come back with you at another time.
Indeed.
It won't be this week, next week. My schedule is
we know you're busy.
I'm not trying to be. You know what I've made it a point to do? This is one thing I love about retirement. I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Okay. Because like I said, I leave tomorrow to head down to I'm going down to Hardesty. And actually, so that there are in Oklahoma, so in this district 2, I think it is, there's a district 1. Anyway, they have 3 tracks that are close. So you have Hardesty. So we'll race at Hardesty tomorrow evening. Friday evening, Sand Springs is about 10 miles, 15 miles away. So that's on Friday evening. Okay. Saturday morning, we go back to Hardesty to race. Saturday evening, go over to, let me find Saturday here, Mays County. That's about 45 minutes away. Then Sunday afternoon, we go back to Sand Springs. So I can get in five races.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, at Hardesty, I get to hook up my RV, so I don't have to, it works out real well. It's a quiet weekend, except when I'm racing. And so I'll just have some nice downtime. And then I won't come back until Monday morning. I'll take my time, coming home, because it's a 6-hour six and a half hour drive from here to Tulsa, Oklahoma. But no, it's wonderful. So you all have to find another time when we can get together, either a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh, that's been canceled. So yeah, just let me know what you young folk want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't call you young folk because you're young. As a matter of fact, I'm old enough to be your mama, so I understand with that. So somebody said once, Miss Now, I think I'd like to come live with you. I said, no, you don't. You don't want to come live with me. Well, what do you mean? I mean, it's just you and the house. I said, me and the house. That is correct. You're absolutely right. The boys are grown and gone, and unfortunately, my husband is deceased. So it's just me and well, wouldn't you like to have some company? I am company. You have to keep it real. You really do have to keep it real. The other thing that I've learned in life, because I've had my fair share of trials and tribulations, is if you can't laugh, something ain't right.
Definitely.
And I will tell you, I've worked with kids who couldn't laugh because they think people are laughing at them or laughing about them. But you know what? I can laugh about myself all day long. And because that's just a part of being human. So yeah. The other thing. So next time I see you at Grand's, whenever that happens to be, you can come on over. We can.
Oh, I will.
Chit chatting, chew the fat, and just have a good time.
Yes.
That's the other thing. That's what I love about the sport is, I can go anywhere.
It's family.
It is family. When we did it, it was family. I'm still doing it. It is family.
That's what me and Shannon said. When we came back, we both it felt like you haven't seen your family in like 20 years, but it was just like a day.
And there you go. There you go. So I haven't been to Tulsa since, and I can look at my calendar here. No, because see, I've been to some other places. Nope. So I wasn't there at all. Oh, first weekend in September was the last time I was there. Because the second weekend I was in Blue Springs. So I did Blue Springs and Raytown. The third weekend, I was up Gold Cup finals in Madison.
Nice. Was that the one where they put both races together the same day because of the weather?
Oh man, let me tell you something. I don't do rain. I don't do rain. I just don't like rain. And so I had even asked if I could. I was going to camp because I'd camped there before.
Right.
For they had a national in 21, because I was there for that. Okay, and so for some reason you had to use PayPal to pay for it. And I don't have a PayPal, and I was not going to. I wasn't going to go through all that just to save a few shackles. So I camped. It was not even a quarter of a mile from the campground. Well, okay, it's about a half a mile from the campground to the track. Okay. It rained. Friday was great. Friday was just great. Saturday came, and it wasn't supposed to rain, but we knew that it's supposed to rain all day on Sunday. Well, honey, let me tell you, that weather forecaster didn't know what he was talking about. Now, you know what happens when it rains on grass and rains, and you got all of these campers.
Yeah.
Well, we got finished up because Sunday it was going to do nothing but rain.
Right.
Saturday it rained, and they had to stop the racing and, get the berms is what they had to get dried up. And we were finally able to do that. As a matter of fact, we ran both the Saturday and the Sunday race on Saturday. So I'm going home Sunday, but I was at the campground. So I was able to pull on out and take my time and get on home without any problems. But I got a couple of phone calls from people who had camped in the campground. And they had to tow out a number of the RVs
because it was so soft.
It was so soft, and all your tires do is spin in that, and then it creates mud. Ooh, I said, Kitty, thank you for being smart and staying at the campground. It was a nice campground too, so I didn't mind. But yeah, we did. We got everything done Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah, so I did. I finished third. I finished third in my cruiser class.
there we go.
But I did not finish this year in my 20-inch.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I didn't get a plate. I finished at a fourth is what I finished.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I didn't fuss about it. But once again, I was riding with young ladies who were my daughters. So that was it. And I do at the end of a race, I don't care who I'm racing with. I will say thank you. I say thank you to my daughter, or thank you to my son, or, because I respect that, and I love it. I love it. They push me. There was a young lady who just started this year who is, I can tell you exactly how old she is because she raced Sunday, and I can tell you how old she was because that's the other thing. I keep track of all of my
I see.
laughing at it. But I keep track of all of my motos.
I'm
I'm
jealous
like,
of
you
how
have
organized
at
you
least
are.
be 41, right? Isn't it just 41 and over?
Well, no, see the class. Okay, so for class, the class I rode in was, oh, come on, Kitty. What was this? I don't have the class because it was 41 and over. Yeah, but you see, we have a 51 and over
Oh,
class.
Yeah.
okay.
So here are the ages.
That's right.
We have a 52, 52, a 67, and me at 76. Okay. So, and I wasn't going to be Stephanie or Tracy, and Cheryl Anderson, shoot, that girl can get out there and race. Now, when I was Cheryl's age at 67, I was doing what she was doing, but then I was still the oldest. So that was that class. And then in my cruiser class, that were just three of us, Cheryl and her sister. That was Cheryl and her twin sister, Shirley. And so
Awesome.
67. Yeah.
How far back do you go?
How far back?
Yeah, as far as like logging in all your race information.
Oh, you know what? I started doing that several years ago. And the reason is that I really wanted to see, now I can look at pictures and tell you the ages, but I actually keep track of my, since they've been putting stuff, let me put it like this. Since you can go online to pull up your moto, then I just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
So I have those. So to be honest with you, we haven't been doing that for that many years. Before you had to go up to the moto board,
Yep.
and then I would do one of these here numbers with my camera to the moto board because you can't remember that stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd always have a pen with me, and I did keep a book. We used to have those log books because I made one for my son and one for myself, where we would where I put and they had little stickers. And I put the moto and then the gates. And then we would stick it on the handlebar, the back of I always put mine on the back of the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that. But now I just take a picture of it. So I know who I'm fooling with. And it works.
Man, I learned so much tonight.
I know, right?
Hey, it's about learning.
Indeed.
Because I know I learned from you because I went in here and checked it. Y'all shooting up at the BMX track. Goodness gracious. That was a trip. I still didn't find that the one that you belong to, the
Worldwide BMX Association, yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna look it up some more. If I find anything, I'll shoot you some links. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do that.
I will.
That.
All right. So you guys have a great night, and we'll get with you. I guess next month we'll try that.
Yeah, let's try.
Well, we'll be in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, be in touch with. And what I'll try to do because I'm doing a presentation at Drake. I was asked to come in and speak to young people who were interested, who are in the field of education. Okay. And they said, and also they want to know about your BMXing. I said, what do they really want to know? But I'm gonna put together some stuff, and you know what? I'll send some of that in y'all's direction.
Oh, please do.
some of my
definitely.
photos and what have you.
And we'll be watching those nationals rooting for you. Wherever you're going to be at, I swear I'm going to tune in and make sure we look for you.
Well, I'll let you know. I only do the number that I need. I'm not. Every woman would have to fall down in the moto before I will get another nag. Now I've had my fair share of nag numbers, so I ain't fussing about that.
Nice.
Okay, but I still go to grands just because.
Yeah.
I tell them I can do it. I can show up.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing grands since '88. I would never forget. Grands at one sport, either NBL or ABA, or both NBL and ABA. Yeah, or USA BMX. So yeah. So to you young men.
Thank you, Kitty. Thank you
very much.
You're welcome. Just let me know when you want to get together again, and I'll shoot you some dates and let you say, yeah, that'll work. No, that won't work. Yeah,
okay, perfect. Will do.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kitty.
All right.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.